Hi, I'm Siobhan Hardy from Corinium. Today we're going to be exploring the areas of what a good data governance structure looks like, overcoming data and analytics program barriers, and building data and analytics self-service into your organisation. It is my absolute pleasure to be joined by Michelle Bauman, who is the Director of Data and Reporting Services from Lion. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Siobhan.
We're going to start with what does good data governance look like? So how are you building sustainable data governance?
Yeah, it's a really great question, Siobhan. The areas that we've really focused on in building our data governance model has been around looking at our people, processes, data, and the solution that we have. So Lion's been on a really big transformation journey, redeploying our whole ERP environment. And as part of that, we've really looked to leverage the solution to see how we can get the best governance, the rules encoded into our solution, so that as people are entering data, that they've got the guardrails on, so that we know that what they're doing from a process point of view is the best process linked with the solution that helps to drive that data quality coming through our systems. And then from a people perspective, really making sure that they've got the right capability in place and that we have our ownership structure in place as well, so that we have data owners and data SMEs or subject matter experts in our organisation to really help lift that capability and knowledge across the organisation. So we're really tackling it from a number of perspectives to make sure that we've got the right fit for our data governance structure moving forward.
And what techniques have you found effective in reinvigorating the function and practice?
I think probably the most success that we've had is really bringing to life the data and helping people to understand what they're able to do with it. And if the data can't be trusted in the first place, then it really undermines everything else that we look to do with it. So when we're able to share examples with the business as to how they can gain value from that information, what insights we can gather from our data, that really excites them and really helps them understand how they can evolve their business, gain more insights, overcome some of their challenges, and that's really helped to invigorate our data governance structure and get people really excited about data across the organisation.
So Michelle, what are the minimums that any business needs to get a good foundation for data governance?
I think for us, we've really found that leading from the top and having that executive leadership sponsorship has been so important for us. It's really helped to cut through and engage different parts of the organisation. So data for us it's very cross-functional. It reaches across from our people services through to supply chain, finance, sales and commercial. So it touches so many parts of our organisation. Having that senior leadership sponsorship at the top, key messages coming down, has really been so important for us. So I think as a minimum, having that sponsorship and having data as a really critical item on the agenda for the business is probably the minimum, and something that, you know, we don't have to implement tools or look at systems or a huge investment in that space. It's really just trying to build that culture of data, the importance of data, and we're trying to build a culture of looking for data-driven decisions in our organisation.
What continuous improvement methods are you using?
So across Lion, we're actually looking to embed a really strong framework around continuous improvement. So it's not only just around data, it's looking across all of our processes and different areas of the organisation. And one of the techniques that we use is the 5 whys. So if there's an issue that comes up, we tend to ask the question why 5 times. So just why is that, and why is that, and why is that, to really drill down to that root cause as to what the issue is. And then we look to address that through either process, capability and people, or the solution, so that we can really drive our data quality and ensure that we've got the right processes in place to deliver on that promise. So we do go through a process of prioritisation once we've identified what are those areas for continuous improvement, and look at business impact and how will that really affect the business, and that's how we help to prioritise our continuous improvement initiatives.
Let's talk about overcoming data and analytics program barriers. This is a huge topic, but how do you overcome cultural resistance to change?
That's certainly been a big part of our transformational journey, and I think any program that's really significant and changing the business, the way that we interact with customers, the way that we run our financials, or indeed how we run our business, has such a huge change management component that if we don't take people on the journey with us, we're really not going to be successful in what we deploy. So helping people understand that change. We've moved from a legacy environment where our systems were quite outdated and very old, and data was quite limited and had limited use cases and was very low maintenance. We're moving now to an environment where our data it's a very, very rich data set that we have available to us. We have greater depth of data, and so helping people to understand that it's really important the role that they're playing in maintaining that data or leveraging that data or keeping it or following a process to ensure that we've got the right data in place has been a really big challenge for us. So we have invested very heavily in the change management side of things to really help bring that to life and help people understand that once as we are transforming the business and the benefits that data will bring them in the future.
Moving on to data and analytics self-service, how do you ensure that your fundamentals of governance and data literacy are in place?
Yeah, so we've taken a number of steps in that space. So both from our executive level messaging down to the organisation. So having some really clear, concise messages that our sponsors have been able to share with the organisation around the importance of data and analytics and how that will help grow our organisation. And then also from a bottom-up perspective, looking at some basic modules around, some e-learn modules to help upskill the foundation knowledge in that space. And then growing our communities of practice, which is where we've really got targeted SMEs, where we're looking to develop their skills and knowledge so that they can then be our advocates out in the business. So leading the Data and Reporting Centre of Excellence, we're quite a small team and we're a centralised team, so we really rely on those SMEs out in our functional teams to be able to help drive our messages and help upskill the rest of the teams. So we rely on that network.
How do you maximise the data that is available to your business units and how they can interpret it?
So we've gone from quite a silo-based approach to data to introducing the Data and Reporting COE team. So as a centre of excellence, we're really trying to position ourselves as the go-to people. So when different areas of the business have questions around what information is available, they know that they can come to my team as the experts in that space. And we do have a very unified platform that we've implemented as part of our transformation journey. And part of the responsibility of my team is to make sure that we've got those golden data sets available. So we're cataloguing our data, cataloguing our analytics portfolio so that people have an understanding of what's available and how it can be used. And also we're looking to certify that data to make sure that people can trust those numbers, and that if they have access to that from a self-service point of view, they can rely on that data set available to them and build their own dashboards, reports, or whatever is required. But driving a self-service mentality has really been key for us, because that's really where we can unlock the value of data by putting it into the hands of some of our experts in the business and what they want to look at and what they want to interrogate. Because from that first question, there's always the follow-on question of other business problems that they also want to solve. So I think really putting data into the hands of our business and helping them to understand it, and also through making it easy to understand with visualisation tools, is really the great unlock.
How can you know that you can trust the data that you've been given?
Yes, it's always a tricky one, and we like to talk about a single source of truth. So we do have processes in place to really be ensuring the governance of our data and the data quality. So we use a number of approaches. So we have our quality controls as the data's coming in. We also do profiling after we've received the data in and it's been ingested before we allow it to be visible. We do profile the data to check that it is consistent, it conforms, and it's complete. The problem with data accuracy is always, if people haven't quite followed the process or where there are genuine human errors. I think we all just have to be aware that there is that element of data accuracy can always come into question. But in terms of trusting the numbers, we have controls that we put in place proactively, and then we look to profile the data in the aftermath as well, so making sure that numbers reconcile at key points of our solution.
Finally, Michelle, what capabilities do you believe are critical for good data governance?
I think for data governance, really business acumen is such an important aspect to make sure that people understand how is the data being used. I think gone are the days where IT sat separately to the rest of the business. My team is part of enterprise services, which is a cross-functional shared service team, and we partner really closely with the business. So building that business acumen and making sure that the team really understand how is the data being used and what are the underlying processes has been really key to our success. So I think lots of people come with different experiences with data, and they're all really important, but I think having that business acumen and understanding how the data will be used and the importance of data in different aspects of the process is really critical.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts and your time with us.
Oh, thank you, Siobhan. It's been a pleasure to be here.